ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 Stop sharing. Share again. Okay, let's continue with the Mangalacharan prayers. You can say all together. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
शलाकया
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन
तस्मै
तस्मै
श्रीगुरवे
श्रीगुरवे नमः।
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
स्थापितं येन
स्थापितं येन
भूतले
भूतले
स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं
कामयं
ददाति
ददाति
स्वपदान्तिकम्
स्वपदान्तिकम्।
वन्देऽहं
वन्देऽहं
श्रीगुरोः
श्रीगुरोः
श्रीयुतपदकमलं
श्रीयुतपदकमलं
श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च
वैष्णवांश्च
श्रीरूपं
श्रीरूपं
साग्रजातं
साग्रजातं
सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं
सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं
तं सजीवं
सजीवं
साद्वैतं
साद्वैतं
सावधूतं
सावधूतं
परिजनसहितं
परिजनसहितं
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा
श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सह
सहगण ललिता
ललिता
श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च
विशाखान्वितांश्च।
हे कृष्ण
हे
करुणा सिंधु
कृष्ण
दीनबंधो
दीनबन्धो
जगत्पते
जगत्पते
गोपेश
गोपेश
गोपिका कांत
गोपिकान्त
राधा कांत
राधाकान्त
नमोस्तुते
नमोऽस्तुते।
तप्त कांचन गौरांगी
गौराङ्गी
राधे
राधे
वृंदावनेश्वरी
वृन्दावनेश्वरी
वृषभानुसुते
वृषभानुसुते
देवी
देवी
प्रणमामि
प्रणमामि
हरिप्रिये
हरिप्रिये।
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
तपस्विभ्यश्च
कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च
एव च
पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमः।
नमो नमः।
नमो
ॐ
विष्णुपादाय
विष्णुपादाय
कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय
कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय
भूतले
भूतले
श्रीमते
श्रीमते
भक्तिवेदान्त
भक्तिवेदान्त
स्वामिन्
स्वामी
इति
इति
नामिने।
नामिने।
नमस्ते
जय
सरस्वते
सारस्वते
देवे
देवे
गौरवाणी
गौरवाणी
प्रचारिणे
प्रचारिणे
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी
निर्विशेषशून्यवादी
पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे।
पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
कृष्ण चैतन्य
प्रभु
प्रभु
नित्यानंद
नित्यानन्द
श्री
श्री
अद्वैत
अद्वैत
गदाधर
गदाधर
श्रीवासादि गौर
श्रीवासादि
भक्त वृंद।
गौरभक्तवृन्द।
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे हरे
हरे राम हरे
राम हरे
राम
राम राम
राम राम
राम
हरे हरे।
हरे हरे।
श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
So today we are starting new chapter. So last time we finished the 9th chapter, राजविद्या राजगुह्य योग, and आजपासून आपण 10वा अध्याय सुरू करतो. 10वा अध्याय विभूती योग किंवा द ऑप्युलन्स ऑफ द ऍब्सोल्यूट और कृष्णाचे सगळे विभूतीज. सगळ्या विभूती कृष्ण यात डिस्क्राईब करतो अर्जुनाला. And he starts with very beautiful verse actually. So let me open that verse. So just in a summary, this is he begins with telling Arjuna that now I have told you something already, but now what I am going to tell you is again superior. So this he tells almost going forward every chapter that something better I am going to tell you, something more I am going to tell you. And then he says that not even demigods or devatas or rishi, nobody knows me in any aspect because I am their creator also. I am the origin of them. And one who knows me, or one who understands even this truth that nobody can know me, he is freed from all sinful reactions. And what he says is that I'm going to tell you all my glories or vibhutis, and just by knowing these glories, one can become my devotee, because my glories are so opulent that one will become my devotees. And then text किंवा श्लोक 8 ते 14 जे आहेत, 8 to 14, these 4 shlokas are called as Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. This means this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, or Bhagavad Gita can also be understood only in these shlokas. So that is also called Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. And then Arjuna glorifies Krishna, and he accepts him as the ultimate supreme God, who is nobody superior to him. And then he said, I'm not telling this just because you are my friend, but this is been accepted by great sages as Narad, Vyasdev, Asita, Devala, and you yourself are also telling this to me. And then I accept you as you are, as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, or as Bhagwan. But I want to hear from you, how can I think about you all the time? You told me in the 8th chapter, he mentioned that Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmaravidacha, that you should always think of me and then perform your duty. So in what way I can think of you? Because we are engaged in so many material activities here, right? So then Krishna, then he asks him, can you please share your divine opulences? तुझ्या विभूती काय आहे त्या तू मला सांगशील का? And then Krishna says that there is no end to my opulences. They are unlimited. But I will tell you something that is very prominent and that is related to you. What you can appreciate, what you can understand. And then from that, he starts telling his vibhutis from text 20. So here he says that, yes, I will tell you my splendorous manifestations or opulences, but only those which are prominent, pradhana, because there is no end to my opulences. My opulences are limitless. And then the remaining chapter, Krishna, he says that how one can see him, he shares his opulences, how glorious he is, and everything that you can see that is very, very opulent in this material world is basically my energy, or you can remember me by seeing that, or you can think of me by seeing that. So that's how this whole chapter goes. And then in the end, he concludes that, but whatever opulent you see, just think that everything is just opulent because of my fragmental of my energy. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam srimad urjitameva va tat tat eva vachatvam mama tejo amsha sambhavam. It is possible, or it has manifested only by a small amsha of my teja. And then he concludes that finally, that athva bahunaitena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyam idam krishnam ekamshena sthito jagat. That what is the need for telling you all this opulence? My opulence is so great that just by a fragment of my energy, I sustain this whole creation. So that's what he concludes with. But what is the need there, Arjuna, for all these detailed knowledge? What I am sharing you with very small, even though you think this is opulent, with a single fragment of myself, ekam shena sthito jagat, I pervade and support this entire universe. So that's how God is opulent. We always think of God, or many times people think that, oh, I am God, you are God. What is God? But we don't understand what is the concept of God is, who God is. And that's what he is taking his time and elaborating all these opulences in this whole chapter. So another very beautiful chapter. So let's go to the text 1 and we can recite this. śrī-bhagavān uvāca
श्री-भगवान् उवाच
bhūya eva mahā-bāho
भूय एव
भूय एव
महाबाहो
महाभावो बाहो
शृणु मे परमं वचः
शृणु मे
शृणु
परमं
मे
वच
परमं वचः
यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय
यत्तेऽहं
यत्तेऽहं
प्रीयमाणाय
प्रीयमाणाय
वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया
वक्ष्यामि
वक्ष्यामि
हितकाम्यया
हितकाम्यया
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
भगवानुवाच
भूय एव महाबाहो
भूय
भूय
एव
एव
महाबाहो
महाबाहो
शृणु मे परमं वचः
शृणु मे
शृणु मे
परमं वच
परमं वचः
यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय
यत्तेऽहं
यत्तेऽहं
प्रीयमाणाय
प्रीयमाणाय
वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया
वक्ष्यामि
वक्ष्यामि
हितकाम्यया
हितकाम्यया
Rajesh Parve Prabhu, do you want to recite? We'll just take one recite.
श्रीभगवानुवाच
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 भूय एव महाबाहो
भूय
भूय
एव
एव
महाबाहो
महाबाहो
शृणु मे परमं वचः
शृणु
शृणु मे
मे
परमं
परमं
वच
वचः
यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय
यत्तेऽहं
यत्तेऽहं
प्रीयमाणाय
प्रीयमाणाय
वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया
vakṣyāmi
वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया
hita-kāmyayā. Thank you, Rajesh Prabhu. So the word for word meaning is śrī-bhagavān uvāca means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shri Krishna said, bhūya means again, eva means certainly, mahā-bāho, he is referring here to Arjuna, mahā-bāho, the almighty armed one. Śṛṇu, here, just here, me means my, paramam means supreme, vacaḥ means instruction or vachan, what I am telling you now. Yat means that which, te means to you, aham means I, prīyamāṇāya means thinking you dear to me, priya. Vakṣyāmi means say, hita-kāmyayā means for your benefit, for your hita. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, bhūya, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. So he has already given so many secrets and so many secretive knowledge, confidential knowledge that he said in the 9th chapter, in the 7th chapter also, and in the 8th chapter. But here what he's saying is, listen, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend, prīyamāṇāya, for your benefit, hita-kāmyayā, I shall speak, vakṣyāmi, giving knowledge that is better than what I have. Bhūya eva mahā-bāho. Śṛṇu me paramam vaca. Paramam, supreme vaca, supreme instruction. What I am going to give you now. Listen carefully. And why is he giving this to you? Because prīyamāṇāya, you are my dear friend. So that's obvious, right? Even a guru, whenever he is giving instruction, he will always give the most confidential instruction to somebody who is serving him well, somebody who is dear to him, somebody who becomes dear to him. And what type of instruction he will give it to him? Not any mundane instruction, hita-kāmyayā, something that is very beneficial, something that is really beneficial. So that's what Krishna is saying. So Krishna is giving instruction just like, and he says that, that's why Krishna says that you should surrender to Guru. And how do you surrender to Guru? In the 4th chapter we read, right? That one should start serving pranipata and pariprashnena sevaya. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Tadvidhi pranipatena. So you would know the spiritual knowledge by pranipatsa, first of all, surrender to Guru and then ask questions submissively, pariprashnena, and sevaya, do his seva. That's how, by these three things, you become dear to Guru, and then the Guru should be Tattvadarshi, one who has realized the knowledge. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So that type of tattvadarshi Guru will give you real knowledge that is beneficial to you, because you will become dear to him by surrendering to him, by serving him, and by asking questions submissively, not in challenging you. And that's why he's saying here that I am going to tell you because you are dear to me. So something that is beneficial to you. So let's read the purport and then we can get a little bit more details. The small purport. Sunil Prabhu, do you want to read the purport, please?
The word Bhagwan is explained thus by Parashara Muni, one who is full in six opulences, who has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation is Bhagwan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. While Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all six opulences. Therefore, great sages like Parashar Muni have all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Krishna is instructing Arjuna in a more confidential knowledge of his opulences and his worth. Previously, beginning with the 7th chapter, the Lord has already explained his different energies and how they are acting. Now in this chapter, he explained his specific opulences to Arjuna. In the previous chapter, he has clearly explained his different energies to establish devotion in firm conviction. Again in this chapter, he tells Arjuna about his manifestations and various opulences. The more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. That will enhance one's devotional service. Discourses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Others cannot take part in such discourses. The Lord clearly tells Arjuna that because Arjuna is very dear to him, for his benefit, such discourses are taking place.
Thank you so much, Sunil Prabhu. So first again, Prabhupada is describing, he is repeating here what is the word Bhagwan means. So does anyone remember what Bhagwan definition we read? It is also mentioned in the purport here.
6 opulences na atta वाचले ते.
Yes. So definition, Bhagwan means the Supreme Person, Bhagavan. Yeah. So 6 opulences, and they are one who has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation is Bhagavan. A person who is full in all 6 opulences. There are 6 different types of opulences one has. So the verse Parashar Muni wrote goes something like this: Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasasviya. Aishwarya, that is opulent, wealth, samagrasya, and Aishwarya is not limited, samagra, so all the wealth. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya, virya is strength, yasha means fame, śriya means beauty, and jnana vairagya. So jnana is knowledge and renunciation, vairagya. So one is full in all these 6 opulences, the seal. That person is called Bhagavan. And so one may have some opulence or some other category, but Krishna, when he was present on this earthly planet, in this universe, 5,000 years ago or so, he displayed all the six opulences. He was full in strength because he killed so many demons from very childhood. From material point of view, even when he was merely few days year old, he killed the demoness like Putana. And merely he was few days or few years old, he killed so many demons, Shatakasur, Agasur, then Kaliya, Bakasur. There are so many opulence, so many demons he killed. So his full strength, he doesn't have to work out or he doesn't have to get some strength to, he doesn't have to do some tapasya or anything to get some strength. Now, fame, he's the most famous person. A person may be famous in some country, some city, or some place for some time. But Krishna is eternally famous in all the creation, in the spiritual world as well as in the material world, in all the billions of universes what exist, everywhere Krishna is famous. So he's full fame. Wealth, okay, he owns everything basically. Isha vasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. So Ishopanishad mantra, first mantra states this, that everything belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to God. So we are the one who are given the charge of some items for some period. Even this body does not belong to us. It is given to us for a certain period and it will be taken away eventually. It actually belongs to Krishna. God is the one who gives us body because we had so many desires that we wanted to enjoy a certain way. So he is being very merciful. He gives us certain type of body so that we can try to fulfill that desire to enjoy. That we'll learn in the 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga, when we go there. So he is full of wealth. Knowledge, well, he is the source of knowledge actually. He's in the 15th chapter. He says that sarvaśaḥ chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. That I am seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, and from me comes what? Smriti, remembrance, jnanam, knowledge, and apohanam, forgetfulness. He is the source of all knowledge. And imagine the knowledge that he is giving to Arjuna is the highest knowledge. He said, in the last chapter we read that Raja Vidya Raj Guhyam, Pavitram Idam. So this knowledge, if he is giving, only Krishna can give him, and his followers or his disciples, his bhakta or acharya, they can repeat these words and they can again transfer this knowledge. They can give this knowledge to others. But original knowledge is given by Krishna. The knowledge like Bhagavad Gita is given only by Krishna. So he is full of knowledge. Beauty, it is actually one of the qualities that Krishna has that no one else has. So it is said that Krishna is full in 64 qualities. And the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Rupa Goswami writes this. So Krishna has all 64 qualities. Vishnu has 60 qualities. Brahma and Shiva has some 55 qualities or so. And all the human beings, they have some 50. When they are fully spiritually evolved, they can get up to 50 some qualities. I don't know the exact number. But out of 64 qualities, there are 4 qualities only Krishna has. No one else has. And that is one of that is the beauty. And Brahmaji in his prayers in the Brahma Samhita, he mentions that Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. We have seen this earlier. Kandarpa means Madan or Cupid, who is considered to be the most beautiful person and who engages who is the one cause of all the love affairs that happen in this material world. So Cupid is the one who engages people in love because he's the most beautiful. Madan and Rati, that couple we understand. But Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Krishna's beauty is comparable to when you put beauty together of Kotyavadi Kandarpa and hundreds and millions of Kandarpa's beauty put together, then we can probably compare beauty of Krishna. So he's the most beautiful person. And even though he has all these opulences in full, he is not attached to them. He is completely renounced. He is not possessive of them. He is not attached to them. He is completely renounced. And that's why renunciation is one of the opulence that he has. So he is the one who showed all these 6 opulences, and that's why Parashara Muni describes that he is the Bhagavan, and that person can be called as Bhagavan. There are some definitions of Bhagavan, I think we saw earlier. But this is the one of the prominent definition of Bhagavan given in the Vedic literature. And Krishna is that. And Bhagavan, realization of Bhagavan is the highest realization of God that we have seen. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdate. In the 2nd chapter of the 1st canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami says that Vadanti tas tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatma iti Bhagavan iti Shabdate. That all the tattvavid, all the self-realized souls, they understand the supreme absolute truth, Paramasatya, in 3 stages. First, as Brahman, that is the effulgence of the Lord, by which the spiritual energy of the Lord, by which everything is working. So everybody says that Brahman is Bhagavan. That's why we see that all these Abrahamic culture, religions, they don't accept a form of God because they are limited to up to that Brahman realization. They said that God doesn't have any form. And that's why they are even stopped to have any kind of form. They think that is an offense for God. That's why they don't have any deity worship or any form of God or any picture or anything, because they think that, oh, God is just this energy, and to put him in a form is kind of an offense for God, because their realization only up to Brahman level. Then the next level is Paramatma understanding. Paramatma, who is situated in every atom and every living entity's heart. So that Paramatma, who is situated in our heart, that is the 2nd level. That is the higher level of realization than Brahman realization. And the highest level of realization is understanding that both Paramatma and Brahman are actually the features of the Supreme Person. He's person, but he's not like a person like us with material flesh and bone and other stuff. So he has his own spiritual body, but still he is a person. And he is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, and his effulgence, his energy that is spread over all the creation is Brahman. So that is Bhagavan. We learned this earlier, I think in 2nd chapter and earlier also when we were talking about this. So therefore, great sages like Parashara Muni have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And eventually in this chapter, Arjuna also accepts it. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Arjuna himself said that you are the Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahman. Brahman is your energy, but the Supreme Source of Brahman, Supreme Brahman, you are. Param Dhama, you are the Supreme Purest Abode. Pavitram, you are the most pure person. And Param, you are the Supreme. And Purusham, you are a person, the Supreme Enjoyer. So all these description, Arjuna also accepts this. And even in other many scriptures, even Brahmaji in his prayers, the very first thing is that Ishvara Parama Krishna. So one may argue that, oh, Krishna appeared only 4,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. And before that, was even Krishna existing? Was he worshipped? But Krishna, he himself says that he comes every time in this world for establishing dharma. So it's not that when Krishna, before 5,000 years ago, Krishna was not worshipped. In the beginning of creation itself, when the universe was created and Brahmaji offered prayers, what does he say? And this is like trillions of years ago. He says, Ishvara Parama Krishna. Ishvara means controller, and paramaṁ means supreme. The supreme controller is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, and he has a form. He is not impersonal. He is not just light or energy or anything. He has a Vigraha, but his Vigraha is very different from what we can perceive in this material world. His Vigraha is Sat Chit Ananda. Is eternal. Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda means full of bliss. Our body, our Vigraha is actually Asat because it has a beginning and end. Then Achit, it is completely in ignorance, darkness of ignorance. That's why the Vedic literature says that tamoso ma jyotirgamaya. Don't remain in darkness. Go to the light of spirituality. Don't remain in the darkness of ignorance. Tamoso ma jyotirgamaya. So we are full of ignorance. So that's why we are Achit, and we are Nirananda. We are in very miserable condition. We are seeking for happiness because that is our true nature as a spiritual being. But unfortunately, we are seeking that happiness in a wrong place, in the material world, in a wrong things. The real happiness we don't understand. And that's why, because that is our true nature, we are after this. But our Vigraha, our form is not like that. But Krishna's form is Satchidananda Vigraha. And he's Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. He has no cause. There is nobody who can create God, but he is the one who creates everything, and he is the one who runs everything. And that's why he's called as Bhagavan. So, yeah, just to describe this Bhagavan is, again, we can take so much time. But here he is saying that bhūya eva mahā-bāho śṛṇu me paramam vacaḥ. I am going to tell you something that is here carefully now, because that is paramam vacaḥ, that is supreme instruction. And yatteha. So whatever I am going to tell you, why I am going to tell you? Prīyamāṇāya. You are very, very dear to me because you are my friend, and first you are my devotee. Bhaktosi me sakha chaiti rahasyam hyetaduttamam. In the 4th chapter, 3rd verse, he said that I am going to tell you the knowledge which I gave to sun god Vivaswan. Why? Bhaktosi me sakha chaiti. Same manner he is saying, I am going to tell you something because you are prīyamāṇāya, and vakṣyāmi, I am going to tell you something that is beneficial to you. Hita-kāmyayā. So he is acting as a good teacher, because a good teacher teaches you all the confidential knowledge that is beneficial to you when you surrender to him and you serve him. And in the 2nd chapter itself, Arjuna, when did Krishna start instructing the secretive knowledge or the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita? When Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. In the 2nd chapter, 7th verse, he says that Karpanya doshopahata svabhava pruchhami tvam dharma sammūಢa cheta yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shādimāṁ tvam prapannam. That now I am completely lost. Karpanya dosha, this miserable dosha has taken my knowledge. He's taken complete control of me, and I don't know what is good for me now. That's what Arjuna said in the 2nd chapter, 7th verse. And after that, Krishna started instructing him, not before that. So surrender is the very first step to get this knowledge. So in the 2nd chapter, 7th verse, before that it was just a friendly talk. But then when Arjuna says that now I am confused, Karpanya doshopahata svabhava pruchhami tvam, I am asking you, pruchhami tvam dharma sammūఢa cheta, I am asking you what is my real duty, what is my real dharma that will awaken me. And now you tell me what is not priya but shreya, yet shreya. And that's what Krishna is also telling in today's verse, hita-kāmyayā. I am going to tell you something that is for your benefit. And that's what Arjuna is asking. Yashreyasyan nishchitam. And not vaguely. Confirmed it, nishchita, certainly. Bruhi, you tell me, tan me. Please, you tell me what is shreyaskar and what is certainly shreyaskar for me, certainly beneficial for me. And then he said that shishyaste aham. Now I am your disciple. I accept you as my guru. So now stop this friendly talk. We are not anymore just friends. I accept you, my Guru, and Shadhimam, please instruct me. Tvam prapannam. I completely surrender. After this verse, then Krishna starts telling Bhagavad Gita, the message of real Bhagavad Gita. Before this, it is just friendly talk. Are you mad? He's just consoling Arjuna. So these are the qualities when we are going, we have to get knowledge about spiritual understanding from Guru or from Acharya or from Krishna. This is how we need to approach to Guru to get this knowledge like Bhagavad Gita. And then we become prīyamāṇāya. And when we become prīyamāṇāya or dear to Krishna or our Guru, then he gives us knowledge which is beneficial to us, which is hita-kāmyayā. So I hope that makes sense. So this is just an introductory verse for this chapter. Then that I am going to tell you something more. Please listen carefully because you are very dear to me. Is that fair? And then we have some time. We can read one more verse probably. And he starts directly with, okay, we can read this. Is it fair or we have some time, right?
I'm okay. I'm
Okay. Okay, so let's read the next verse. Na me viduḥ sura-gaṇāḥ
Na me viduḥ sura-gaṇāḥ
prabhavaṁ na maharṣayaḥ
prabhavaṁ na maharṣayaḥ
aham ādir hi devānāṁ
aham ādir devānāṁ
maharṣīṇāṁ ca sarvaśaḥ
maharṣīṇāṁ ca sarvaśaḥ
na me viduḥ sura-gaṇāḥ
na me viduḥ sura-gaṇāḥ
prabhavaṁ na maharṣayaḥ
prabhavaṁ na maharṣayaḥ
aham ādir hi devānāṁ
aham ādir hi devānāṁ
maharṣīṇāṁ ca sarvaśaḥ.
maharṣīṇāṁ ca sarvaśaḥ.
Sunil Prabhu, you want to recite the verse, please?
Name vidu suragana
Name viduḥ sura-gaṇāḥ
prabhavam nam maharshaya
Prabhavam
prabhavaṁ na
maharṣayaḥ
maharṣayaḥ
armadihi devanam
aham ādir hi devānāṁ
maharshinam cha sarvasha.
maharṣīṇāṁ ca sarvaśaḥ. Thank you, Sunil Prabhu. Let's do word for word meaning. Na means never. Me means my. Viduḥ means know. Sura-gaṇāḥ means devata. All the sura-gaṇa, sura and asura, what we call demigods. Prabhavam means prabhava, origin or opulences. Na means never. Maharṣayaḥ, maharshi, the great sages. Aham means I am. Ādir means the origin or source. He means certainly. Devānāṁ means of the devatas or demigods. Maharṣīṇāṁ means of the great sages or maharshis. Cha means also. Sarvaśaḥ means all, in all respect. So what is the secret knowledge Krishna telling further to Arjuna? So he starts with that. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulence. For in all respects or in every respect, I am the source of demigods and the sages. So it's very bold statement actually. What he's saying that Suragana, all the devatas who are living in Swargaloka and other devatas and everybody, all the hosts of demigods, the devatas, and even the great sages, there are Saptarshi and other great sages, nor the great sages, they don't know my origin or opulence. Na me viduḥ. Viduḥ means to know. Vid dhatu. There are different words comes that vidya, ved, vidvān. One who is possessing of vidya is called vidvān. Vidya is knowledge. So vid means to know. So they don't na me viduḥ sura-gaṇāḥ maharṣīṇāṁ. So neither sura-gaṇāḥ, devatas know me completely, or neither the rishis know me, and they don't know my prabhavaṁ. They don't know my source. They don't know my opulences. They don't know my origin. Why? Aham, ādir hi devānāṁ, because I am actually their source. I am the one who created them. I am their origin. Of whom? Devānāṁ and maharṣīṇāṁ. Sarvaśaḥ. In all respect, I am the one who is the origin of even the devatas and great sages and everything. So that's what Krishna is saying here. So there are 3 paragraphs. So why don't we do this? Rajesh Anantaraman Prabhu, do you want to read the first paragraph of the purport? Rajesh Anantaraman, you can unmute. Yeah. First paragraph.
Silent. Yes. As desired. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord. No one is greater than him. He is the cause of all causes. Here it is also stated by the Lord personally that he is the cause of all the demigods and sages. Even the demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name nor his personality. So what is the position of the so-called scholars of this tiny planet? No one can understand why the Supreme God comes to earth as an ordinary human being and executes such wonderful, uncommon activities. One should know then that scholarship is not the qualification necessary to understand Krishna. Even the demigods and the great sages have tried to understand Krishna by their mental speculation, and they have failed to do so. In the śrī-bhagavān, it is clearly said that even the great demigods are not able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can speculate to the limits of their imperfect senses and can reach the opposite conclusion of impersonalism, of something not manifested by the 3 qualities of material nature. Or they can imagine something by mental speculation, but it is not possible to understand Krishna by such foolish speculation. Here the Lord...
Okay. I was thinking other Rajesh Prabhu can read the remaining.
Okay.
Rajesh Parve.
Continue, Guru.
Okay, read one paragraph and Rajesh Parve Prabhu can read the last paragraph.
Okay. Here the Lord indirectly says that if anyone wants to know the absolute truth, here I am present as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the Supreme. One should know this. Although one cannot understand the inconceivable Lord who is personally present, he nonetheless exists. We can actually understand Krishna, who is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, simply by studying his words in Bhagavad Gita and śrī-bhagavān. The conception of God as some ruling power or as the impersonal Brahman can be reached by persons who are in the inferior energy of the Lord. But the personality of Godhead cannot be conceived unless one is in the transcendental position. Because men cannot understand Krishna in his actual situation, out of his causeless mercy, he descends to show favor to such speculators. Yet, despite the Supreme Lord's uncommon activities, these speculators, due to contamination in the material energy, still think that the impersonal Brahman is the Supreme. Only the devotees who are fully surrendered unto the Supreme Lord can understand by the grace of the Supreme Personality that he is Krishna. The devotees of the Lord do not bother about the impersonal Brahman conception of God. Their faith and devotion bring them to surrender immediately unto the Supreme Lord, and out of the causeless mercy of Krishna, they can understand Krishna. No one else can understand him. So even great sages agree, what is Atma, what is the Supreme? It is he whom we have to worship.
Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, very powerful purport actually. So again, this statement itself is, as we say, this is very bold statement that Krishna says he is the origin of all the devatas. He doesn't say that this devata or that devata or no, all the devatas. I am the origin of all the Brahma, Shiva, everything, including Vishnu. So everything he is the source of, and in every respect, I am the source of all the demigods and sages. So in the Brahma Samhita also it is mentioned in many places, or Brahma Samhita, śrī-bhagavān and other Vedic literature, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Ete cha amshakala pumsa. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said. Then Brahma Samhita also, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. We just recited that verse. But so he is the cause of all causes. So if devatas cannot understand this, how can we understand him? He says that even the demigods and great sages have tried to understand Krishna by their mental speculation. So just by our imagination, our tapa, our mental gymnastics and all that, we cannot understand God. Krishna says actually in the 11th chapter, Naham vedairna tapasa nadanena chejjaya, that I cannot be understood by Naham Vedai, by the study of the Vedic literature, just by mental speculation. Naham vedairna tapasa, by any austerity, by severe penances, by tapa. If somebody try to understand me, they cannot understand me. Naham vedairna tapasa nadanena. By doing charity, somebody may say, oh, I am doing a lot of charity, so I am a very great person. Now I will understand God because God has given me this. Na danena, na cha ijjaya, not even by just worship. Then how can one understand him then? Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakyam, only by bhakti. So when one engages in Krishna's devotional service, then only one can understand me. So this is last few verses of the 11th chapter. Krishna says that the way you are seeing me in front of you, nobody can see me. Only by bhakti one can see me. Yeah. Naham vedairna tapasa na danena chejjaya shakyam evam vido drashtum drushtavānasi mam yatha. The way you are seeing me, nobody else can see me, not by even Veda, study of the Vedas, not by tapa, not by dana, not by any kind of worship, ijja, not by worship. So it means it is not by these means one can see me. Then how can one see? So in the next verse he says that bhaktya tu ananyaya, ananya bhakti. And this is the repetition in Bhagavad Gita. Everywhere he says that bhakti. Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakyam. Shakya means possible. Aham evam vido Arjuna. To know me the way I am. It is only possible by bhakti. Jnatum drashtum cha tatvena. And then you can understand me, you can see me. Tatvena. In reality. And then praveshtum cha parantape, then only you can enter in my spiritual abode. So my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service, ananya bhakti, can I be understood as I am standing before you and can be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter the mysteries of my understanding. And the same thing he repeats again in the 18th chapter. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschashmi tatvata tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. So that is the only criteria. 55th verse or so. Yeah. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. So one can know mam abhijanati, can understand me. Yavan, just the way I am. Yacha asmi tattvataha. Again, these are very key words here. We may know Krishna, but we don't understand really Krishna. When we see Krishna, we have temples of Krishna, we see his deities, we offer dandavat to him and everything. But we don't understand him completely. We don't know what his opulence is. We don't understand who he is, tattvataha. So bhaktya, only by bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyascha tattvata. Tato mam tattvato jnatva. And when one understands me in that way, vishate, he enters. Tad anantaram. After that, he can enter my spiritual abode. Until that, no one else is qualified to go to the spiritual world in Vaikuntha planet or Goloka Vrindavan. So he says that one can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Bhagavan, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me in such a devotion, he can enter, Vishate Tadanantaram, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So one may argue then that the Devatas, he says that he is the origin of Devatas and he is the origin of Maharshis, but they don't understand me. They don't know me. So aren't they the devotees of Krishna as well? That's why they got certain position there. That's why they got that higher position of being a Devata or being a great sage or something. So yes, they are devotees of Krishna, but they are called karmi devotees because they still have some material desire. Devatas still have desire to control certain things. We see in many stories, right? Indra, as soon as somebody start doing tapa, he is the first person to get afraid of. He thinks that that person is going to steal my seat. अब मेरी कुर्सी जाने वाली है. So that's how he thinks. So he has also material desire. He is not ananya bhakta. So his bhakti is karma mishra bhakti. So he is also in karma bhakti. So he is also a devotee, but he is not ananya bhakta, ananya devotee. So ananya devotee is somebody who is anya abhilashita shunyam, who has no other abhilasha. Anya abhilashita shunyam. And he is free from all the karma and all the mental speculation. Jnana karmadi anavrutam. Anukulena krishnānuṣīlanam bhaktiruttama. That is the uttama bhakti. Anukulena, one who is following Krishna in a favorable way. Because there are people who follow Krishna in ever unfavorable way also. So anukulena Krishna anuṣīlanam. And then he follows his instructions just like given in Bhagavad Gita or all the Vedic literature, all the Puranas or Srimad Bhagavatam, or particularly Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Very thoroughly he tries to understand from a spiritual master or guru who is coming from a disciplic succession, and he follows that instruction, and that is the only goal. His only goal is to satisfy Krishna. So that is Ananya Bhakta. So that's why even the Devatas, Krishna says that na me viduḥ sura-gaṇāḥ prabhavaṁ na maharṣayaḥ. Even the Devatas and the great sages, the 7 great sages and before them the 4 great sages, even they don't understand me the way I am. Because he is the origin of all. So, and then, but Krishna is the one who knows everything. He said that, right? I am the one who knows everything. In the 7th chapter, he said. What is the verse I was thinking of? It's on the tip of my tongue, but anyway. Vedaham samatitani. That I know the past, present, and future. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyāmi. Samatitani means whatever has happened in the past. Vartamanani is something that is happening now, and bhavishyāmi means all the things that is going to happen in the future. Veda aham, I know that. And of whom? Sarva bhutana. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyāni cha bhutani. Mam tu vedana kaśana. And I know this for all the bhutas, all the living entities, but to me, no one knows. That's what. So it's very difficult to understand Krishna, and our attempt should be then to try to understand him from the self-realized souls. And by reading his commentaries, by following them, by getting guidance from them, and understanding the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad Bhagavatam from them, not by our own mental speculation, because otherwise we will be lost. So here in the 26th verse, this is what I was thinking. Vedaham samatitani. So that he says that I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, all that is yet to come, and I also know all the living entities, but me, no one knows. Mam tu vedana kashana. So how do we know him? Just by performing, engaging in devotional service of Krishna. And that's the message Krishna is trying to give again and again, just like a good teacher. He knows what is good for his students, and then he teaches them or try to get it to them in different ways so that they are convinced and they can follow that instruction because he cares for them. So the teacher will tell them what is important for the student in many different ways, but he will emphasize the same fact again and again. And the only core message of Bhagavad Gita is to engage in Krishna's service, bhakti. The final instruction that Krishna gives is sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. That is the instruction only of Bhagavad Gita, nothing else. Sarva dharman parityajya. Just abandon all the forms of religious activities that you have concocted. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just do my bhakti. Just engage in my devotional service. Just surrender unto me. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo vakṣyāmi ma shucha. But to tell this in different ways, Krishna is giving so many things. Why you should engage in bhakti? What are my opulences? What is your position? That your natural position is to perform a bhakti. That's how you will purify yourself, and your real home is actually in Vaikuntha. This is not your real home. You are suffering here because this is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So to tell this in different ways, Krishna is giving this instruction in Bhagavad. Or the last verse in the last chapter that we read is Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Always think of me. Bhava mad bhakto, become my devotee. Mam namaskuru, offer namaskar to me. Why? Because I'm very proud, I'm expecting some appreciation from you. No, because then you will come to me and then you will be very happy, you will be peaceful, you will be free from all the problems, miseries, unnecessary anxiety you have in this material world. Because this is not the natural place where a gentleman can live. So that's how he's saying that nobody knows me. And even the great sages agree. And we will read this in so many places that they don't know what really Atma is. They don't know what is the Supreme Lord is. And that is the person who we worship. And that is the only most worshipable deity as described in all the Vedic literature. So I'll stop there and we can get some reflections. I see some message here. Okay, he has another meeting. No, we are stopping now, 11:30. So yeah, let's get some reflections. So thank you so much. I hope these two verses were clear. And
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Raj.
राजेश प्रभू थोडं मला जायचंय लवकर जरा.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So any reflection
Hare
before
Krishna,
you
Hare
leave in a
Krishna.
couple of minutes?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, I guess he had to leave.
No, thank you to you. Guru Purnima Nimitta, our gratitude towards you.
To all of you, actually.
From
all.
all your students.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, Rajesh Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji's Sunil Prabhu and Rajesh Anantaraman Prabhu.
Yes.
नाही काही स्पेशल रिफ्लेक्शन असं काही नाही. त्याला हा नवीन चॅप्टर चालू होतोय त्याला, आणि आपण डिफरंट सब्जेक्ट मध्ये आता चाललोय त्याला. पण तरी हे आपल्याला ऑलरेडी माहिती आहे तिथं त्याला, म्हणजे गॉड-हेड त्याला जरी म्हणत असलं त्याला तरी का म्हणायचं त्याला, और व्हॉट आर द क्रायटेरिया, त्याला त्या नवीन गोष्टी कळतायत.
Yes, thank you, Sunil Prabhu. Yes, Rajesh Prabhu.
Yes. See, the fact that even somebody like Srila had to use personality of Godhead. In fact, I can only recollect somebody like Narayana Bhattadiri, who out of extreme suffering used to cry out to Krishna, and it seems it was he who helped him write the Narayani. And even there, he still, despite all that, he still says, God is beyond all this. Krishna is beyond all this. So, whatever words, even in that agony, nobody else has been able to do better. So, in the human form, it is practically impossible to explain him in detail. Which is why he says, don't try all this, just surrender. Because if you do not understand, no matter how much time you waste, you will still not. If you surrender, the possibility is at some point in time, he will reveal, as he did to Arjuna. Even after saying it, Arjuna was not completely, he saw, but काय बघितलं त्याचं complete वर्णन करणं was not possible. In fact, people in the Kaurava camp, literally their glare madna, they were actually shielding their eyes. So that explains the kind of opulence. Only in brightness, forget other things. So it's a wonderful, what I would call, paragraph that he says, concise but so vast. No matter how much we read the purport, that paragraph itself is so vast. And he has said something that with all the imagination, it is impossible to, see something as great as that. Wonderful.
Yes, yeah, and actually, just by reading, because what I notice is translations of the Bhagavad Gita shlokas, if you read even other translations, they are more or less same. Any Sanskrit scholar can translate probably. But the Bhaktivedanta purports that Prabhupada has written, they are so powerful, and they are coming directly from Shastra. They are not his mental speculation. They are coming in disciplic succession. And the more and more I started studying the other scriptures, the more and more when I come back to these purports and see that, Prabhupada has written this not out of his whim. It is coming from Shastra.
Exactly.
Now, whenever I am reading purport, I can recollect those. I remember those verses from the other Shastra.
Absolutely.
So he's quoting Shastra there. And those purports are so beautiful, so nice, that it clarifies that verse in much detail. And it gives us the depth of that verse.
He has done the most concise and the simplest.
Very beautiful.
In both terms. See, and most importantly, he has done it for the generation that knows nothing but English.
Actually, he said that impossible. My books will be read for next 10,000 years.
No,
and he said,
thing is, if you read anybody else, there is a requirement that you need to know Sanskrit. Which means it was so clear to him that future will be people who will not have read or studied Sanskrit. Most likely English earth. So he has made it so simple for them. Now we cannot really say, okay, I had nothing. He has brought us to that situation. So, but don't tell me, kai nahi hai. You have the best. Really.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, again for your association. So we will stop here. And